Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, very good morning. Today we are okay. Uh, Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss fatty acids topic. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, Myself, Ushasri. I'm assistant professor from RBVRR Women's College Food and Nutrition Department. Girls. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about fatty acids. Okay. What is fatty acid? Coming to the definition of fatty acid is nothing but straight chain hydrocarbon. Okay, it is a straight chain hydrocarbon. If you see this structure, you can see a straight chain, right? And it is having carboxylic end. That means COOH group. Okay, COOH group is nothing but carboxylic group. And attached to that functional group is alpha carbon. Attached to that alpha carbon is beta carbon. And at the end of the chain, you will have a omega carbon. Okay, this is nothing but fatty acid structure. Fatty acid is a carboxylic acid with a hydrocarbon chain. It is nothing but hydrocarbon straight chain with a terminal carboxylic group. Terminal means end point. If you see this chain end, you can see carboxylic group, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So usually where we find these fatty acids? They're in our oil and fats. So fatty acids are nothing but straight chain hydrocarbons with a terminal carboxylic group, COOH group. C, COH and double bond O. That means COOH functional group is present in the fatty acids. One more thing you have to remember is the last carbon of this, last position of this hydrocarbon chain is omega position. What is the last position known as, girls?
Omega position.
Yes, omega position. And uh, it is very important because we have to count from where the omega position this double bond is present. How we have to count, I will let you know. But remember, last end is known as omega and the starting terminal end is known as carboxylic group. Classification of fatty acids, girls. It is of three kinds. This is based on their chain length. Okay, chain length, if we take the basis of chain length, the classification is of three kinds. One is short chain, second is medium chain, third is long chain. Short chain are less than 8 carbons. If the chain length is having less than 8 carbons, we have to call them as short chain fatty acids. Example is butter. Butter is having short chain fatty acids. And any fermented product may also show this short chain fatty acids. Okay, girls. Next is medium chain fatty acids. Medium chain means 10 to 14 carbons. Medium chain is having how many carbons in its structure?
10
10
to
to
14
14.
carbons.
Yes. Where this medium chain are present? Coconut oil. Best example for the medium chain fatty acids is coconut oil. And we this MCTs, this coconut oil, we will use them in the liver disorders also. In the hospital based diets, we have to give this enteral feeds depending on their condition, right? In that enteral and parenteral feeds, we will use this coconut oil, MCT, as a coconut oil. Okay, why? Because they they have a capacity for the easily absorption. Okay, they are recommended in the liver disorders due to the ease in their absorption. Remember this point, girls. Next, long chain fatty acids. Long chain fatty acids means how many? 16 to 24 carbons. or more than that. Okay? 16 to 24 carbons or more than that. Examples under long chain fatty acids is essential fatty acids, omega 3, omega 6. Essential fatty acids comes under long chain fatty acids. Now everyone understood the classification based on chain length, girls?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
2 to 8 is short chain, 10 to 14 is medium chain, 16 to 24 is long chain. Now they are again classified into two kinds, saturated and unsaturated. What is this saturated? Why this classification has done means based on their position of double bond and based on their uh, bonds. Okay, saturated means they don't have double bonds, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they
Yes,
have
ma'am.
only single bond. They have only single bond. But in the unsaturated, we can see double bonds in their structure.
Double bond.
Yeah, if it is one double bond, then we should call them as mono unsaturated. If it is more than one double bond, so we have to call them as poly unsaturated. Depending on the double bonds, we have to give the name. Fatty acids are again classified into saturated and unsaturated. Unsaturated is of two kinds, mono unsaturated and poly unsaturated. Mono, mono means only one double bond. Poly means many double bonds. Saturated fatty acids have no double bonds. Okay. Saturated fatty acids have no double bonds uh, in their chain, and the general formula, if you see, CH3, CH2N, COOH. So what is this N? N specifies the number of methylene groups present between methyl carbon and carboxyl carbon. Carboxyl carbon means COOH carbon. Methyl carbon means CH3 carbon. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, in between them, that means CH3 and COOH, how many are there? Methylene groups that N specifies. They have high melting point. They are solids at room temperature. Okay? Examples are lauric acid, myristic acid, palmitic acid. These are all saturated fatty acids. Saturated fatty acids have no double bond. Okay, they have high melting points. They are solids at room temperature. Examples are lauric, myristic and palmitic acid. Next, unsaturated. Unsaturated fatty acids have one or more double bonds. That means in their structure, if you see, more double bonds will be there. So they are liquids at room temperature, like our sunflower oil. It is liquid, or it is liquid only, right, in the room temperature. Cooking oil, cooking sunflower oil, safflower oil. So that comes under unsaturated. SR no, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they have a low melting point. Example, linoleic, oleic, palmitoleic acid. Mono unsaturated fatty acid. Mono means single double bond. Mono unsaturated fatty acids contain single double bond. Example, oleic acid. So, what are the food sources of this mono unsaturated fatty acids? Olive oil, canola oil, groundnut oil, rice bran oil, red palm oil, sesame oil. Okay? Next, polyunsaturated fatty acids. Poly means many. They will have more than one double bond. So, very important point to remember, girls, polyunsaturated fatty acids are good for our health. Okay? Why? Because they are very important in our diet, because they are structural component of cell and mitochondrial membranes. in our cell structure. For our mitochondria, we need PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. They are the precursors of prostaglandins. What are prostaglandins? They will reduce the inflammation if there is any damage, right? If our cell has any damage, inflammation will happen, redness will happen. If prostaglandins are released, then they will go and they will try to reduce the inflammation process where the injury has occurred. So if you take this PUFAs are nothing but they are precursors of prostaglandins, and they will also lower the BP, blood pressure, said to have cholesterol lowering effect. Very important, PUFA will lower the cholesterol in your body. Next. So what are the examples of PUFA? Essential fatty acids. Okay, essential fatty acids comes under PUFA, girls. Like examples, linoleic, arachidonic. These are all essential fatty acids. Why they are called as essential? Because they are not synthesized by the human body. They are not synthesized by the human body. They have to be supplied from the diet. You have to take them from the diet. We have to take them from the diet. That's why they are known as essential fatty acids. They are very essential, but they are not synthesized by the human body. They have to be supplied from the dietary sources for our healthy well-being. That's why they are known as essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids comes under PUFA. Omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids are essential fatty acids. Omega 3 and omega 6 are very important for our body. They'll perform so many functions in our body. For example, they help in the role in immune system. They play a major role in immune system. Everyone has an idea about immunity, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for our immunity, we need omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. Next, formation of cell membranes. For our cell membranes, we need omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. For producing hormone like compounds in our body, eicosanoids, we need omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. Hormone like compounds, which include prostaglandins, thromboxanes, leukotrienes. For their production and synthesis, we need omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. They also play a major role as a potent regulators of vital body functions like blood pressure, childbirth. Very important point, girls. If the pregnant lady should take omega 3 and omega 6 essential fatty acids, which will help in the cognitive development and brain development of a child. Next, blood clotting, immune responses, and inflammatory responses. These all are controlled by the omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. That's why you have to take them omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids in your diet. This is the structure, girls. Omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. Yeah. I said you starting fatty acid structure. Did you remember? This one. I said omega end. We have to count the double bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this structure, if you see here, from the omega end, which carbon is carrying double bond? 1, 2, 3. Third carbon, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I said this is fatty acid structure, this is carboxylic terminal, and this is omega terminal. From the omega terminal, you have to count the carbon, girls. Position of double bond. So if you count from the omega terminal, 1, 2, 3. Third carbon is carrying double bond. That's why the name is omega 3 fatty acid. From the omega side, the third carbon is carrying double bond. That's why the name is omega 3 fatty acid. If you see omega 6, this is omega end, right? From the omega end, sixth carbon is carrying double bond. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth
Yes,
carbon, right?
ma'am. Carbon. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's why this name is omega 6 fatty acids. Depending on the double bond. First double bond you have to see.
Okay,
Next.
ma'am.
Examples of omega 3 are ALA, alpha linolenic acid, EPA, eicosapentaenoic pentanoic acid, DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. Omega 6, linoleic and arachidonic acid. Omega 3 fatty acids. They are a polyunsaturated fatty acids. They are considered as essential fatty acids. They can't be manufactured by our body. We have to take the omega 3 fatty acids from the foods such as fish, nuts, plant-based oil such as sunflower oil. Types of omega 3 fatty acids. Examples: ALA, alpha linolenic acid. Okay, omega 3 fatty acids example is alpha linolenic acid. It is a 18 carbon compound. That means 18 carbon chain is present in the alpha linolenic acid. Here also the first double bond is located in the N3 position. That means from the omega end, third position is carrying double bond. That's why the name is omega 3 fatty acids. Next, this linolenic acid is lengthened and dehydrogenated to form C20 and C22 compound. C20 compound is eicosapentaenoic acid. C22 compound is docosahexaenoic acid. These two are very important, girls. Why? Because they are known as to protect our heart. They are cardioprotective. EPA and DHA are cardioprotective. That means they will protect our heart from getting coronary heart diseases. They'll reduce the risk of heart attacks. And where they are present means especially in fish oil, fish liver oil. EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, is a 20 carbon chain. First double bond is located at third carbon from the omega end. That's why it is known as omega 3 fatty acid. DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, is a 22 carbon chain, and the first double bond is located from the third carbon. That's why this is known as omega 3 fatty acid. But remember, EPA is a 20 carbon chain. DHA is a 22 carbon chain. Okay? Food
Yes,
sources.
ma'am.
Food sources are alpha linolenic acid. Food sources are canola oil, soya beans, walnuts, and flax seeds. EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid. Food sources are fish oils such as cod liver oil, herring, mackerel, salmon, sardines. Names of fishes, girls. DHA is also present in the fishes such as oily fishes include cod liver, herring, mackerel, and salmon. Now coming to the benefits and health benefits point. Omega 3 correct the imbalances in modern diet that lead to health problems. So if you take the modern diet, all are eating junk food, right? So trans fats. So they may cause the risk of obesity and all. So if you take omega 3 fatty acids in your diet, they will correct the imbalances which are happening in the modern diet. You have to take omega 3 fatty acids in your diet daily. They are very beneficial for our health. Eating the foods rich in omega 3 fatty acids can help to lower the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, stroke, cancer, lower the LDL or bad cholesterol. Very important point, girls. We will have the HDL and LDL in our body. Low density lipoproteins and high density lipoproteins. Low density lipoproteins are bad cholesterol. Okay, HDL, high density lipoproteins, are good cholesterol. We have to take the foods which will lower the LDL levels. Omega 3 lower the LDL levels in our body, low density lipoproteins. That is a bad cholesterol. And some studies have also shown that EPA and DHA are helpful with brain and eye development. Okay, for our brain development, for our eye development, especially in the pregnant mothers who are taking EPA and DHA in their diet, has shown more benefits. And cognitive development of the child is also more if they take EPA and DHA in their diet. And it also helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease. That means Alzheimer's disease, the memory loss will be there, right? In order to prevent that risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, we have to take the omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. It enhances the elasticity of blood vessels, it reduces the cholesterol levels and triglyceride levels in your body. It prevents the buildup of harmful fat in the arteries. What happens if the harmful fat is deposited in our arteries? Atherosclerosis, right? Which may lead to heart attack. In order to prevent that, we have to take EPA and DHA in your diet. Next, coming to omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 is also polyunsaturated fatty acid. It cannot be made in your body. You have to take them from the diet. And food sources include meat, poultry, eggs, nuts. Plant-based oils include canola, sunflower oil. Examples are linolenic acid. Okay, La. It is also 18 carbon chain. The first double bond is located in the 6th carbon from omega end. If you see from the omega end, the first double bond is located at the 6th position, girls. That's why the name is omega-6 fatty acid. Can you see the structure?
Yes, ma'am.
Here the omega end is here. You have to count from here. 6th position. 6th position is carrying double bond. That's why omega-6 fatty acid. From the omega end, you have to count the double bond. Arachidonic acid is a 20 carbon chain. Here also the 6th carbon from the omega end is having double bond. Sources include soybean oil, corn oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil and rice bran oil. Arachidonic acid sources include peanut oil, meat, eggs and dairy products. Benefits same like omega-3, it also has a numerous number of benefits, and especially it helps to lower the chronic diseases. So you have to take omega-3 and omega-6 in your diet for your health, good health. Everyone understood the importance of omega-3 and omega-6?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now deficiency. What happens if you don't take essential fatty acids in your diet? What happens means dry scaly rashes will develop and the growth of the infants and children won't be proper. Growth process does not happen, girls. Okay? They increase the susceptibility to infection. That means the children or the child is more prone to infections because their immunity won't be in proper. Because in the functions I have said, they'll help you for the immunity. But if they are not taking this essential fatty acids, obviously their immunity will be decreased. That may lead to the chances of getting more infections. And poor wound healing. Wound healing won't be happening very fast. That may lead to even more problem. And other deficiency factors include like visual problems, sensory nerve disorders will happen, like neuropathy problems may happen. DHA is essential for the normal brain development and visual function. So if you don't take DHA, there there won't be any brain development, cognitive development won't be there. And especially the affected area is IQ levels are affected, attention span is not there in the children, visuospatial development during the infant development does not happen. The visuospatial learning also does not happen in the infants. And very important point, girls, essential fatty acids deficiency leads to phrenoderma. Phrenoderma is nothing but skin will develop the follicle papillae. Can you see this image? Can you see this, girls?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, this condition is phrenoderma. Here, this is a form of asymptomatic or mildly symptomatic follicular hyperkeratosis. Hyperkeratosis, the skin is becoming very rough, right? And even the follicular papules of various sizes are formed on the skin. And new patches which are formed are hypopigmented. Usually, we can see this phrenoderma condition in the back of elbows, okay, back of elbows and front of the knees also you can see, and it may spread even to the forearms, thighs, depending on its stage. This phrenoderma is a form of follicular hyperkeratosis. It is associated with nutritional deficiency. If you don't take essential fatty acids, this condition is seen in the persons. And it may also happen with deficiencies like vitamin A, malnutrition, vitamin E deficiency, vitamin B deficiency, and all. But mostly, essential fatty acids deficiency will lead to phrenoderma. Phrenoderma is a follicular hyperkeratosis condition where the follicular papules of various sizes are formed on the skin. Okay? Now we have
Yes, ma'am.
discussed Now we have discussed about saturated, unsaturated, right? Classification, saturated, unsaturated, what is monounsaturated, polyunsaturated in detail we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Apart from that, we also have trans fatty acids. Okay? In the fatty acids, we should also discuss about trans fatty acids. What is this trans fatty acids? What is this, girls? See, in the bakery items like bakery biscuits, other items like puff and all, you will see this margarine in the place of butter,
Ma'am.
and vanaspati, dalda will be there. Uh,
Yes,
Usually,
ma'am.
they'll prepare the products with this vanaspati and dalda in the place of ghee. So, trans fatty acids are produced by the vegetable oil when vegetable oils are hydrogenated to make margarines. Usually, this vanaspati, margarines, what are they? They are hydrogenated products. If you take more of these hydrogenated products in your diet, that may lead to health problems. These hydrogenated products are present in your bakery items. That's why you should limit the intake of trans fatty acids. You should not take trans fatty acids much. Trans fatty acids are produced when vegetable oils are hydrogenated to make margarines, partially hydrogenated vegetable shortening, and vanaspati. The best example is vanaspati, girls, which is an hydrogenated product. We'll use this vanaspati in the uh, bakery products and all. Major sources of the trans fatty acids are baked products, deep fried snacks, etc. What they'll do, they will increases the saturated fatty acids. They will rise the blood cholesterol levels. Okay? If our blood
Yes,
cholesterol
ma'am.
levels are raised, that is not good for our health, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why you have to limit the intake of trans fatty acids. They are present mostly in the margarine. What is margarine, girls? It looks like butter, but the cost of the margarine is low when compared to butter. That's why in the place of butter, they'll use the margarine, which is not good for health. It is an hydrogenated vegetable oil. And vegetable shortening, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, deep fried chips, baked products, these are all the food sources of trans fatty acids. You have to limit the intake of trans fatty acids in your diet. You have to increase the intake of essential fatty acids, PUFA, in your diet. Thank you, girls. Any doubts? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.